Misinformation, part 3. Alright, so for part 3 in this series, I want to touch base on a couple things. The first thing I want to talk about is you. You are so much more than any written word. It doesn't matter how you style it. It could be in all capital letters. It doesn't matter if it's in cursive. It doesn't matter what kind of graven image it is. It is not you. You are so much more above and beyond that. You are a fractal of the Creator. You are divine in all aspects. So this is the first thing that we're going to talk about is you. Now, you can write your name, which isn't yours. It is just a name that you can write in all capital letters. Okay? You can use proper English, which, you know, we all breeze by, even though it's on our license and our passport and legal documents and stuff like that, all capitals. Even if it's in upper and lower case, which is proper English, it's still not you. It is just a written word. Those are all adhesion contracts that we get deceived into believing that is us, but it is not. Now, you can style it uppercase, lowercase. You can style it all lowercase. You can even hyphenate it and add colons. It's still not you. You can even use crazy symbols. It's not you. It is just a written word. It is graven image. You are above all these things. They are just written images, okay? All right, the next thing I want to talk about is Capitis, Diminutio, Maxima. It's founded from Roman law, which is a lot of our American society and civil court procedures and actions foundational sources from Roman law. And it has 3 different classifications. It has maxima, media, and minima. And even if you go back to Caesar's Gallic Wars of how a weaker force can dominate a larger group through division, and you can even set a larger force against itself. And that's basically what they do by having a duality of exchange instead of always trying to teach unity. We're never taught about unity. We're indoctrinated in our school system to believe that there has to be a winner, a loser, a weaker, a poor, somebody that's rich. You know, it's all about division, not unity. It's all about dividing us so that the people at the top of the elite can conquer us. And a lot of people mistake this Capitis meaning capital letters, but it really just means maxima. Because you use or style your name or a name in all capital letters does not mean that it is a maximum lawful loss of status. It only means that that is an entity that you're using. It is a dead entity. That's what you interface with the public with, is some type of entity, and it's usually styled in all capital letters. That's not you. You're not losing your status because you are using an entity to interface with the public with. That's how it works. All right, the last thing that I want to talk about is Minnesota Rule 220. I get approached with this all the time. It is so misquoted by so many patriots and sovereign citizens and stuff. One of the most important things that you're going to do in life is, if you're going to do your own research and homework, is you need to do studies and not base everything off of what some random guy on TikTok says or girl or whatever. And if you look at Minnesota Rule 220, I look at it very similar to like scriptures, because written law has been around since ancient times, okay? And what a lot of people like to do with scriptures is they'll take one little tiny sentence from something and run with it. And you never read a paragraph before or a paragraph after. I know the truth is you actually have to have a summation of the entire book before you start grasping little bits and pieces of it. Well, the same thing happens in written law. You need to look at what the actual code and statute is talking about, not just that little teeny piece. And here's what the actual statute is talking about. Minnesota Court Rules 220, Rules 201 through 222 of these rules apply to all actions proceedings in the district court relating to the registration of land titles, including proceedings and subsequent to initial registration. So if you actually read what the entire code is talking about in the 200 section, it's all about land patents. It has nothing to do with you reclaiming the rights to your birth certificate and the private asset trust funds, which is handled through the DTC. This is simply explaining how the court can identify a registrant that is identified on a land deed. That's it. And everybody mistakes Minnesota Rule 220 to think that they're going to claim their birthright by going and returning their certificate back to the registrar, and that's not how it works.